Hey, I'm Jay, and I have something to say about sinus infections and Dungeons and Lasers stretch goals. So, I'm overdue for I'm overdue for some videos. It's been a rough month between COVID and a sinus infection that you're probably going to hear, but at least I'm going to try to do this not shaky cam. Um, I have a couple things to review. I've been way overdue on my Dungeon and Laser 3rd edition, but first I just picked up some path miniatures. You can get these in a little bucket, a little like screw top jar on Amazon. They have a bunch of different models. Some of the sculpt quality varies. Some of them look like old '90s computer generated stuff, but that's a pretty cool mimic. Can never have too many bugbears. He's a little bit big, or gnolls. Here's a Dungeon and Laser for scale. I'll get my Reaper Surf 4 scale out later, but I'm pretty low on bugbears and hobgoblins, and I have a friend that's really into gnolls, so that's kind of why I picked up this set. A little Lemur, kind of. This one's kind of not have any detail. There's a little texture, but it's kind of just a blob. Cockatrice, which I actually don't have any pre-painted versions of a cockatrice, so that's cool. I think that's one of their better sculpts. This is like a were-badger or something. So like this one's kind of like the details got smoothed out. It's kind of blah. And then this zombie is kind of also pretty detailless. You're gonna have to add some detail with paint. But those are path miniatures, and they're extremely affordable. Just the sculpt qualities, here or there. So here's going to be my scale reference. This is the WizKids Sir Garrick, kind of jokingly named Sir 4 scale. Here's some WizKids kind of variety to show you kind of where they line up. This lady is kind of the smallest human that they kind of make, and this Barbarian's one of the larger ones. You can see the Reaper Bones one is kind of between these two. This is actually a magic overwhelming swarm token, but it's all the same WizKids stuff. So WizKids humans, Sir 4 scale. You can see he's a little bit chunkier. He's a little bit more like 90s sculpt. Kind of more exaggerated features, less realistic than the lady and the knight. He's kind of in the middle. So this is a good. This is what most people are going to have is human size. So at Dollar General, I picked up some army men size skeletons. You can see that they are way too big, but they're still fun. I might, chop some up for bone piles or something. They were 8 for 10, and they're all different sculpts. So that was fun. Now what you're really waiting for, the Dungeons and Lasers stretch goals. So a couple things I have a small issue with. Let's see if I can find the other goblin. So these are both goblins. You can see that they're both a little smaller than that, but these are WizKids goblins. Okay, so this guy's pretty good scale. This one's he's a grenadier. So you can see he's got a little detonator in his hand. He's holding a pack of dynamite on his back. He has a grenade on this hip. So he's got just a lot of fun little details on him. This guy's wearing like a barrel for armor, and he's got he's kind of like in between a goblin and an ogre. He's supposed to be a goblin bruiser, but like he's just a little too big for me for goblins. Here's a Squire. As you can see, he's a little, kind of a little boy. He's a little short, but he's holding a knight's helmet. Got a very detailed shield on his back. And here's some Town Guard. So you can see they're a little on the smaller side. They're a little more true scale. So this guy's loading a crossbow. He's got crossbow bolts. All the townsfolk guard have kind of matching uniforms, matching hats and stuff. And they have a whole bunch of different things. So, like, here's a guy saying stop with a halberd. Here's a guy asking for taxes. Meanwhile, he's already got some in his back pocket. But, you know, he's asking for a bribe. Let's see here. Here's an archer. Here's kind of a noble or a town guard captain. Fleur-de-lis on the bottom of his cape. So a lot of the town guard are pretty similar. And then there's stretch goals, which had a lot of the townsfolk in it too. So, like, here's like a money changer, got a little box and a coin purse. Here's a gardener. It's kind of fun. He's got a little mandrake root and a shovel. Here's just a thug. This guy they called a merchant, but he could be really any NPC, a shopkeep. Here's a big chunky barbarian. As you can see, he's actually a little bit bigger, but he's supposed to be bigger than everybody else. Lots and lots of texture and details. He'd be a good player character barbarian. This one's called the Monster Hunter. So she's got a crossbow and a spear, and you can see this like dragon wing draped across her back. This thing was a beast to assemble, because you can see there's like, it's very delicate. There's holes everywhere. There's lots of layers, lots of texture. So that's something you have to do. You can't only do with assembly. You can't do that with a one-piece mold. Here's like the bad, undead, kind of evil guy. He looks like he's right out of He-Man. This one, I don't know if you can see, because I don't have her on a base, but this is a very action pose. And again, a lot of, sorry about the shaky cam, I'm still learning how to do this. But you can see you can't do all that separation in a one-piece mold. The Dungeons and Lasers is all hips plastic, which is the same stuff that like Warhammer's made out of. So it's a very stiff, brittle, kind of plastic. Whereas the Reaper Bones is like the white Reaper Bones is like a racer rubber. And the Whiz Kids is kind of a stiffer but flexible PVC. Stretch goals have a lot of monsters. So here's an undead zombie that's missing a leg. So you have to kind of like pin this down to hold him up. Kind of like that. Missing a leg. I've seen a mod where he's got a peg leg. Here's like a zombie piratey guy. He's got a hatchet in his head. That's fun. Here's another noble or town captain or something like that. You can see I got a little more gap around that shoulder than some of the other pieces. For the most part, assembly was really good fit. Instructions were maybe a little hard. Here's a construct. Not quite Warforged, not quite Iron Golem. They do have an Iron Golem that's beautiful. I already painted that, so I'll have to do the ones I painted a little bit later. Here's a prisoner. Got a little ball and chain around his foot. And then, so that's all stuff I'm giving away. I also got some stuff I already primed. Because I'm keeping it. Here's a knoll. Oh, that zenithal white splatter does not show up good on this with this lighting. I apologize. He's got a little skull in his head in this hand. Yeah, ooh, that paint does not do wonders on here. Wasn't expecting that. But here's another knoll scale. The knolls are a little bit bigger, but they're not like Reaper Bones knolls, which are larges. They're for some reason everybody's making bugbears larges except for WizKids. So they're a little bit bigger. This guy's fun. He's like a peddler. He's got a fry pan. He's got a full backpack full of stuff. Cups and tin stuff. He's just maps. He's a pretty fun guy. This is Lord Balbo. He is a not beholder that walks around in disguise and pretends like nobody can figure out that he is not a human being. So he's the mayor of Woodhaven, and he's a sewer monster, which is kind of like a tentacle beholder thing with less eyes. But he walks around in a mechanical suit and pretends to be human. So that's a cute little fun surprise. Here's townsfolk or town guard that are on horseback. A couple different sculpts of those. So to compare, they are equivalent. They're not smaller. Sometimes the horseback they make smaller. Find a town guard. Sometimes the horseback people they make smaller than the other humans to make the mold smaller, but they are the right size. Right there. So, another sculpt with a lance. Here's an old lady that's selling some vegetables. The walking stick. Man, I'm really sorry about this Zenithal Prime. Did not come out good. This is a sewer hag, or a sewer mermaid. So she's like just a big, ugly mermaid. It's another cute, there's a lot of character in these things. This one I modified. This one I left the head out to make him a ghost pirate. So there's a pirate with a hooked hand, and I just left his head off. Include the hat to the back of his neck to make him look invisible. Here's a sorcerer, little dragon wand, sorceress. So again, look at how much like three-dimensionality there is to that. That's pretty cool. Assembly. There is a Dungeons and Lasers 2 stretch goal dungeon decor fairy dragon. Should scale on that. I did some trades online, so I'm missing some townsfolk. There's just like a female warrior. Pretty dynamic pose. This is the Necromancer. I still have to glue some hands to his base. But like these chains flying behind him with the skulls on the end, and like him dancing, and like you can't get that out of without assembly. You can't get that out of a single piece. So that was one of the stretch. That was a specific stretch goal that came in his own box. Was the Necromancer. Here's another goblin. He can't pull his bow back, so he's pulling it back with his foot. And there's the WizKids goblin. Got a big nose. There's just a lot of character. It's real fun. Here's a little thiefy guy holding the coin purse. An elven archer. I traded for some extras of those. Oops. Fortune teller. She's holding a crystal ball. She's got some loopy. I don't know if you can even see. There's some separation there between her torso and her like wrap. So again, only because of the assembly is that possible. So that's cool. This was the Witch Hunter. This is another like single box stretch goal. So I'll give a couple extra of these. You know what, maybe we can do a giveaway. Maybe I can give away a Witch Hunter if I can get my channel up. 100 subscribers and I'll do a giveaway. This is the Peacemaker Goose. So he's on a goose on a chopping block. Not quite a knife goose, but still pretty cool. Seems like everybody has some kind of like weird inside joke about gooses that they want. Sorry, I'll try to fly through these a little faster. Here's a kobold, little Cobalt Shaman. Again, next to a WizKids goblin, little dinky guy. A Gnoll Shaman. So he's got like a dream catcher on his back and a staff. So all of the shamans had some options for their arms, and you could kind of select what you wanted. Those are something else. This is a duck barbarian. It's got a little beard. No idea why that exists, but it does. Here's a kobold warrior, kind of like a miner. He's got a little mining pick and a dagger and a spear. So that pretty much covered. I mean, that was a sampling. That's not everything. Like I said, I traded some stuff away, working on some new stuff, but that was about half of the stretch goals were miniatures, and then the other half was scatter terrain. Alright, so scatter terrain, this is the kind of stuff I like. This thing's... Where did my Surf 4 skill go? I'll start using this guy instead. So there's like a big egg thing. I saw some other people left this so you could take the top off, but I glued it together. So it's just, you know, just decor in the dungeon. Got some thrones, bookcases, beds. There's just a dead skeleton. Oh, can't see that on the black background, right? So there's just a skeleton crushed under a boulder. There's a fancy dragon throne. There's like lots of thrones. Chopping block. A well. Tables and chairs. Bookcases. You know, just dungeon decoration. Beer keg. Benches, wooden chair, wheelbarrow. There's lots of like garden townsfolky things. A couple of spare rats, just to glue on extra things. A mimic bed. There's a bed that turns into. They have a regular bed and the mimic version of the bed. Fireplace for your inn. Little treasure chest with a sword in it. Lots of pots and cauldrons. So there's like a hexagonal like witch's brew pot. Some barrels and buckets and benches. Here's a lady like sadly pondering on a stone monument, and then a zombie coming out behind her. It's like she's lamenting her dead lover, and then the dead lover comes to life. Sales cart. I should have not have glued the lid on this. I made a big mistake with that, but you know, just litter a street. Some kind of sewer monster, plant-like Venus flytrappy thing. Blacksmith stove. Get a size on that. Another fireplace. Some of these are from version 2, Dungeons & Lasers 2. Bench. The rack, where you crank somebody down. Another throne that's not dragony. It's like a royal throne. I'll find some of this little stuff. This is the kind of stuff, this little stuff is the kind of stuff that I like. So there's this little book on a pedestal. It's got like a chicken foot for a stand. Some fire braziers. You can see they can read from the book, so that's cool. Basket of food. When I get this all painted, I'm probably going to do a Fae. Like you can't refuse a gift from the Fae, but don't eat the food, kind of thing. There's a big city fountain. Probably do something where after I paint it, I'll fill it with a little bit of resin. Here's a wall fountain, like one that you would see like face squirting water out into a little like wash tub. Sarcophagus. A safe, like a nautical safe. A little bag of money or grain. Another little witch's pot with some stuff floating in the top. Here's a wash tub. They also had a porcelain wash tub with a rubber ducky that I traded away. People like the ducky. Just little random bundles of stuff that you would find in like an abandoned mine, like a crate of supplies. Little bar top table, mine cart on some track. A mystic portal. Ooh. This is also from 2. And not 3. There's an invisible mystic portal that I already painted. Probably skip ahead if I'm boring you guys. Here's like an Egyptian style sarcophagus. Here's some more of these like stone ones. A cannon. So if you have an artificer in your party, there's a little crate with dynamite. Another crate with food or supplies. I can't remember or tell. I have to wait until I get a base coat on it to see what it even is. What else we got here? 2 had some torture chambery stuff. Here's like just a rock with a pick on it for like mines. Here's a witch's kettle with tentacles coming out of it. Like you're summoning something. A little scatter train mushroom. Here's my scale guy. Little mushroom forest. Another one of those like little altars on a chicken foot. Some more rats. Just a pile of rocks. Basket of food. I have a lot of baskets of food. Got duplicates of some stuff. Here's an Iron Maiden. Here's a statue. Some more like wooden boxes and chests and stuff. Another sarcophagus. So I hope that gives you some idea. Another basket of food. So there were lots of food and coins and stuff like that. Tables, statues, another cannon. So you got a lot of value. You got 3 boxes this size, and 2 boxes with the Necromancer and the Witch Hunter in them just for stretch goals. So if you guys have a chance to go scope out the Dungeons and Lasers encounters still open on GameFound for a little bit longer, I would highly suggest that.